All right, good morning. Welcome to the first Leadership Pinellas virtual recruitment event. My name is Jennifer McRail, and I'm the Executive Director of Leadership Pinellas and also an alumni of the program. First, I'd like to thank David Bennett, class of 19 and CEO of Pinellas Realtor Organization, for his work on this program. He's helped us coordinate and organize this event today. Our goal today is to give you a history of Leadership Pinellas, share some feedback from members on their Leadership Pinellas experience, and provide details and requirements of the program. Please direct any questions you have during the event to the chat feature. Hopefully most of your questions will be answered throughout the program, but if we don't get to yours, we'll follow up with you, or you can email me at contact@leadershippinellas.com. Now I'd like to turn it over to Cindy Hayden to give you a brief history of Leadership Pinellas. Cindy?
Good morning. Good morning, all. As past president of Leadership Pinellas, it is my honor to share a little bit of the organization's history. It was actually started by a Clearwater periodontist named Ted Francis, and he got inspired to start the organization after hearing about Leadership St. Pete from his brother-in-law. He started creating a planning committee of 12 local community leaders, and he wanted to ensure that the group was diverse. So even back then, they set about identifying 10 industries they would target to participate in their first Leadership Pinellas. It was health, the Junior League of Clearwater, the legal profession, hotel, travel, banking, newspaper, construction, real estate, and roofing. It's great to see how far we've come today. Originally, the organization was going to be called Leadership Clearwater. And then while they were in the planning stages, they decided to call the group Leadership Pinellas because they wanted to include all the other cities in Pinellas County. So when it was established, they had 5 goals in mind. They wanted to identify community leaders of diverse backgrounds, develop the potential of these members for and encourage their acceptance of civic responsibilities and leadership, expose potential leaders to the problems and opportunities in our area, open significant dialogue among existing and emerging leaders, and help forge a sense of community in Pinellas County by demonstrating representatives of several cities our common nature of our social, economic, and governmental problems. So then when they thought about what the purpose would be, they wanted it to be a problem identifying organization. They did not want it to be an activist group in of itself. So we do not seek out or groom candidates for public office, nor do we endorse any candidates. We do not endorse community problems or specific solutions to community problems. So when I look back at that 1977, what's changed in the over 40 years? Our original application, if you can believe it, was a very detailed 4-page long application. You can be thankful that's not the case today. Our first class was in the fall of 1977, made up of community leaders, 22. And the first class was just programs they held that were 2.5 hours long. They were not the full day. So what's the same as we look back? If you can believe it, Ted Francis is still active today. And back then, just like today, class members get to meet face-to-face with community leaders who share their jobs and what that entails. They discuss problems they face and how to solve them, in addition to more things. In our very first brochure, it included a quote from Abraham Lincoln. And we still believe today in this idea, and I'd like to share it with you. Abraham Lincoln said, "I'd like to see a man proud of the place in which he lives. I'd like to see a man live so that his place will be proud of him." So Leadership Pinellas continues to attract and invite a diverse community of leaders committed to working together to move forward principles established in 1977. And we are still going strong over 43 years later, thanks to exemplary leaders like you. Thank you.
Thanks, Cindy. At this time, we're going to watch a short video from Duggan Cooley, one of our past presidents.
I'm Duggan Cooley. I'm the CEO of the Pinellas Community Foundation. I've been a resident of Pinellas County for 13 years, and I graduated with the class of 2007 from Leadership Pinellas, and that happened to be one of my first experiences inside Pinellas County. The Pinellas Community Foundation is the only foundation of its kind solely dedicated to helping all Pinellas County residents. It's open to accepting funds and support from anyone in Pinellas County, and supports a wide variety of organizations dedicated to making life better for everyone in our community. I got involved in Leadership Pinellas at the request of one of our board members when I started at Religious Community Services in Clearwater. They thought it would be a great way to get introduced to the community, to other community leaders, and to make sure I had a good grasp of what was going on inside Pinellas County. One of the most valuable leadership lessons that I have learned is to listen first and to talk later. Get to know the members of your class, not just the ones that you click best with, but those that maybe don't talk as much. Make sure you take time to listen and learn what they have to share. Oftentimes they have great information, wonderful insights, and with them you can create lasting relationships that make a difference for all of us.
I'd like to introduce you to Ricky Butler. He's going to speak to you a little bit about the details of the program. Ricky?
Thanks, Jennifer. Good morning, and thanks to all of you for taking some time during these crazy times to learn a little bit more about Leadership Pinellas. I'm sure many of you joining us this morning are here because you heard from someone else about how Leadership Pinellas is an unprecedented behind-the-scenes look at the county and a great opportunity to network and build lasting relationships. Both of these statements are true, but just two of many byproducts of the program. It's important to remember that the focus of our program is to build our leaders through education, enhancing their networks, and perpetuating their community engagement. The backbone of the program, of course, is the experience itself, which I'm excited to share a little bit about with you this morning. The class comes together for the first time during a 2-day opening retreat, which we're really excited about this year. This provides an opportunity for class members to participate in some team building activities and most importantly, start to build those lasting relationships. Starting in September and running through May, we look forward to a deep dive into a different industry each month, from the healthcare field to the arts, education to emergency services, environment and tourism to human services, and everything in between. We take a look at how these various industries impact our community, peek behind the curtain to tour facilities not typically open to the public. We hear from leaders in these areas how they step up to the challenges they meet on a daily basis. In addition to these monthly program days, we take a road trip to Tallahassee for 3 days and 2 nights of tracking bills, interacting with legislators, and exploring our state capitol, including a really neat visit to the Supreme Court. I can tell you, as someone that was involved in my community for some time before becoming a member of the class of 2015, the program will exceed your expectations and then some. I thought I knew our community, but my experience proved otherwise. To share more about their personal experience, I'd like to turn it over to a member of our class of 2020, Rob Angel. Rob?
Hey, good morning. My name is Rob Angel, and I'm the operations chief for the Pinellas Park Fire Department. I'm honored to have been given the ability to give my perspective of Leadership Pinellas in the class of 2020. You know, I consider myself a very calculated individual for the job that I do in my decision making and my thought process. And I had what I thought a distinct plan when I signed up for Leadership Pinellas. I thought I knew what my target was, and I was confident I was going to hit the mark when I joined Leadership Pinellas. I thought that my target was something that I would hit. I thought I'd be successful, and I thought that I'd achieve my goal when Leadership Pinellas started for me. I kind of had my arrow drawn and my target in sight, and I was ready to see what Pinellas was going to bring to me and to what I was going to gain out of it. But you know, it didn't take long for that target to change very rapidly. During the retreat, I saw my own leadership skills being dissected, and my target suddenly changed. You know, my target, I thought what Ricky just mentioned was, you know, networking and socials and how to succeed as a leader and the do's and don'ts of leadership. But I can say with confidence, being a part of the class of 2020 opened my eyes to the true target of Leadership Pinellas. it was a principle that came back to me that my grandmother instilled in me as a young college kid. The true target and the bullseye was that of being a servant. The target can be networking, and the rings of the target can be, of course, you know, the goals that we all look for, the socials and the other aspects. But the true successful to being a leadership Pinellas was that of being a servant. You know, the class of 2020 has some of the most talented leaders in Pinellas County. I was able to observe and witness my class's ability to serve each other and our community on so many levels. And I want to give a few examples of really what our class did. You know, I was taken back by one of the leadership Pinellas staff, and she's going to be mad at me, but Miss Jennifer, from the opening night of the retreat, you know, month after month, I saw her serve us like a team mom on a high school football team. You know, always thinking about us, always thinking about our needs, always thinking about the things that would make us comfortable on these trips. And, you know, that's a true servant. And that's what Leadership Pinellas did for me. It brought that perspective back. You know, one of our members sprained her ankle the night before our Tallahassee trip. In Tallahassee, there's a lot of walking, and you will observe that. And I remember watching our members carry her on off the bus. Ricky Butler got on his phone in the parking lot, and he called the hotel in Tallahassee, standing there in Pinellas Park, and said, hey, I need a wheelchair ready lined up for her. One of our members, Joe Riddle, he pushed her around the whole 3 days in the wheelchair, making sure she was comfortable and her experience was that of what leadership Pinellas ought to be, and that was being a true servant. You know, I watched one of our school teachers, we walked through the jail in one of the events, and she wept, you know, thinking, man, I got to do something for this. We have to do more for the people in our community. Sarah Malo, which is my accountability partner, which you'll learn more about, and Mary Jo, they teamed up with Nourish and Flourish that feeds the hungry children of Pinellas County. They'll be assisting in feeding over 600 children a day. I'm sorry, 600 children a week this summer. Two wonderful ladies with a servant's heart for the children of our community. You know, I could go on and on with so many stories and examples, but I want to thank my class and the leadership team for bringing my bullseye back in target, and that was that of being a servant to our community. You know, if you're considering being a part of Leadership Pinellas, I would encourage you come with an open mind, but come with an open heart to be what you really are, and that is a servant to your community. You know, thank you, leadership team. Thank you, the class of 2020. My perspective has changed again. As a fire chief, you know, I served the community, and that servant's heart was what leadership brought to me, and my perspective did change, and thank you. And with that, I'll turn it back to Ms. Jennifer.
Thank you, Rob. Now that you've heard a little bit about our program, you're surely wondering, how can you be part of this? First, fill out the application. It's available online on our website, leadershippinellas.com. We'll accept online applications through Friday, June 19th. There is a one-time application fee that must be paid when you submit. Once submitted, you'll be given the opportunity to sign up for an interview with our selection committee. The format of these interviews, be it a conference call or a video chat, will be held the week of June 22nd to 25th, and you'll sign up for a time that fits your schedule. Those accepted into the class must meet the requirements to become part of the class and to graduate. First, the opening retreat is mandatory. There are no exceptions to the opening retreat attendance. The dates for that retreat are August 28th and 29th. If you know now these dates don't work with your calendar, it's best that you defer your application until next year. In addition, attendance at the program days is required. They're typically held the second Wednesday of each month from 7:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. You may miss one program day throughout the year and still be eligible to graduate. A second missed program day results in the delay of graduation. Class members may make up missed program days the following year in order to graduate to alumni status. Finally, the Tallahassee trip is also a requirement. We understand that life happens and it is possible that the trip may be missed. Like the program days, the trip may be made up the following year in order to graduate and obtain alumni status. So now that you know a little bit about Leadership Pinellas, you might be wondering, why do we do what we do? We aim to develop a diverse group of community leaders and provide them the opportunity to increase their community knowledge and perpetuate their service in our community. Leadership Pinellas has been doing this for over 40 years, and we hope that you will be part of our future. None of this would be possible without the support of our alumni members and our sponsors. I'd like to take a moment and thank our 2019-2020 corporate sponsors. Our platinum sponsors, Clearwater Gas System, Bolenbach and Foret CPAs, and Collaborative Labs at St. Petersburg College. Our gold sponsors are Solus Insurance and Sunstar Paramedics. Thank you to our silver sponsors, Baycare Health and Homeless Empowerment Program. And our bronze sponsors this year are Karen Skaratko, Pinellas Community Foundation, Sports Facilities Advisory and Sports Facilities Management, the YMCA of the Suncoast, and Juice Marketing and Design. And again, thank you to David Bennett and the Pinellas Realtor Organization for helping make this program possible today. Now, hopefully we got some of your questions answered, if any popped up in the chat, but don't forget, we'll follow up with you on anything we didn't cover. It's been my pleasure to guide you through our first virtual snapshot event. Again, email me at any time, contact@leadershippinellas.com. Thank you and have a great day.